It that alter sanity greets you. This is a video journal of how my first character in version 0.3 progressed through the campaign in terms of items and skills. What you see now is where my build ended up by the time the campaign was over. I set a rule for myself to not engage in player trade until Act 4. This means relying on drops, vendors, and a bit of crafting, while using whatever skill fits the items I have. The miller dropped this spear. The first mini-boss dropped this two-hand mace with +2 skill level. That's a big power boost in the early game. Getting to 11 strength would take some time though. A life helmet from the vendor. Just enough gold for this bow upgrade from the vendor. They refresh their stock each time your character levels up. Oh, and a nice augment result as well. My old bow that I had crafted. What's in stock? Oh, speed boots. Sell amulet, get boots. And I just crafted an early game relevant suffix. A rare chest I picked up from a boss. That much armor with no strength requirement. A good crossbow, but I turn it down. Also, the mausoleum is when I finally get the strength and skill gems to equip the mace. I shoot while the enemy comes to me, earthquake to slow further, and rolling slam to finish things off. A skill quiver from Renly. Draven dropped this rare chest which I decide is worth taking some int for. A normal ranger has trouble with an eternal knight who reflects projectiles. Not a problem with my mace. A senior dropped this interesting caster staff that I need intelligence for. Oh look, Lachlan dropped an int-giving helmet. A lot of skill gems had dropped. Could this quarterstaff from Renly be my next upgrade? No, it was a dud. So instead I got a bunch of sorceress skills, to be complemented by Vine Arrow for slows. I make sure these spells are used with my caster staff instead of my martial weapon, and then I use my one support gem to get faster casting for the frost darts. Note that my passive skill tree includes increased projectile damage. It doesn't say projectile attack damage, so spell projectiles benefit as well. Trying it out, this felt like it could replace my bow skills. As if on cue, Renly offered an upgrade for my two-handed mace. The high base damage offsets the loss in skill levels. While I won't use spells in the long term, until I get more skill points, it doesn't make a difference. I bend my build to whatever I find. Now I have the flexibility to strafe ranged foes while slamming squishy melee. The crop circle gives me more intelligence on the chest, and the vendor has a +1 skill glove. After finding Renly's tools, I socket my caster staff with an iron rune for more spell damage. After the executioner, my first level 5 gem was Molten Blast. Now I have a projectile attack that uses my big two-hand mace and my passive skill tree, while keeping rolling slam to take advantage of stun. I craft a white ring to get cast speed, and oh look, I need to change my build again, thanks to this rare drop from a strongbox. Having made changes, I ended up not using fire spells for damage, though I did get to see Frost Nova put the new chilled ground effect. Move speed boots from a strongbox, and oh hello, vendor gives an upgraded bow. The bow rolls a good suffix on craft, and then I stick this essence on it, and now I know what to do with my passive tree. I tried a poison and cold build like this, but when it only takes half the combo to kill enemies, it doesn't feel satisfying. I tried applying shock, snapping it, and then conjuring a firewall with the fragment, but this too was unnecessary damage. So on my next level 7 skill gem, I got Temporal Curse for double slow, stacked on Vine Arrow. Act 2 is the point where you have so many options that you want a plan for where you want your build to go. For this character, that was Chaos Damage. Here's a wand I craft with that future in mind. Since I'm not using melee as damage anymore, these gloves from Kabbalah replace my +1 melee skill hand, a belt upgrade from the Trial of Sekhemers, and a potential mace upgrade I buy just in case. But then I get this quarterstaff and I want to change my build again. So now I can dash with Killing Palm, put maim with Electrocuting Arrow, and then slam to electrocute. I love seeing big monsters be triple slowed. Note that during a heavy stun, electrocute waits and then triggers for double the control time. A nice crossbow, but I pass on it. I've changed my build enough as is. This alchemy result is almost disappointing, but I'll take the lightning resist, given Jamanra's attacks. A helmet upgrade from the vendor. A very tempting spear that I buy just in case. And in Act 3 I find I'm dying too much, so it's time to sacrifice move speed for life. And Oswald says I should keep using the quarterstaff for now. So, an essence and some whetstones later, my new quarterstaff is ready. While this looks nice, I don't have the chaos damage to actually make this work. Profane Ritual isn't benefiting at all from my quarterstaff either. I'm not doing melee strikes enough to charge up Mantra of Destruction either. This blue amulet that dropped on the floor I craft to have more life, which meant I had to replace the intelligence from my old amulet. So since my new build wasn't working out well anyway, usually you do these thought experiments in Path of Building, but I've been saving gold so I can just do it. And another insurance purchase, just in case I find a great one-hand weapon. I discovered that I lose combo when I use a bow attack, but not when I use Profane Ritual. So while this experiment with the purple totem was a failure, it was good to get Profane Ritual into my build. Once more skill gems dropped, I turned Hand of Chayula into my triple slow and mark skill. Temporal Chains, Maim, and Hinder. I then gamble on these gloves hoping for some life and ended up with a good offensive glove. It's about time for a bow upgrade. I don't see anything amazing off the shelf, so I start with this, and then some lucky crafting gets me a serviceable weapon. I buy a life chest, but a couple of levels later, I buy an energy shield chest. This unique amulet came from a strongbox and I'm using it mostly for the life. More temptations, but I don't have the skill gems to pursue a different build. After failing the DPS check at the Temple of Kamasa, I finished crafting my bow. My quarterstaff did not contribute as much as I don't have the mana or the charge generation to spam Falling Thunder. These move boots from the ground turned out very nicely after some crafting. Seems this build will be ES for the time being. The Temple of Kopek reminded me my hat was outdated. Crafting something cheap from Oswin turned out disappointing, but I'll still use it for the fire resist. Time to round out the crafting with runes for elemental resists. Continuing build experiments. Frostwave into Snipe was nice when it worked, but more often than not, enemies or terrain would get in the way. Kedge Bay gave a level 13 skill gem, which, once I hit level 52, got me gathering storm for making my own shocked ground. This has a noticeable delay in reapplying shock to enemies after it's consumed, so I had to choose between Shock Burst Arrow and Siphoning Strike into Falling Thunder. From Act 4 onwards, I started engaging with player trade for item progression. With a full evasion gear set, the attack speed on Hollow Palm convinced me to drop Shock Burst Arrow. So much attack speed, Frost Wave is now an escape skill. Disengage is the only reason I'm holding a spear on my other weapon set. I don't have the stun threshold to parry, but disengage moves me very conveniently to slam and for holy descent. This concludes the video journal. It that alters sanity thanks you for your time.